Hello and welcome. My name is Svetlana Stone. You are watching Artist Voices, where we believe it's essential for artist voices to be heard. And we are pleased to have Micheal Wilson to talk about what it means to be an artist in the 21st century. Thank you for watching. Hello, Micheal.
Hello.
We are excited to have you here at Public Media Network.
I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us, and we would like to learn more about you. Could you please introduce yourself and let us know who you are, what are you doing, what type of art, and how you end up in Kalamazoo?
Yeah, so my name's Micheal Wilson, and I was born and raised in Paw Paw, Michigan. I think art had always been something that I was interested in and always followed that throughout high school and such. When I went into college, that's something I wanted to be a part of my life. I knew that art had to be in there somewhere, but towards the end of my undergrad career, I lost track of my art and I fell out of it. When I got into my master's program, I picked it back up and absolutely adored it and again fell back in love with it. When I finally finished my master's degree, it was in the middle of COVID and I just was not finding any jobs. And so I decided to start my own art shop and started it on Facebook, and then I moved it to Etsy, and then I'm working with friends and family and have just been doing it since.
And could you tell to our audience what type of art you are doing?
Yeah, so right now I'm working priority on wood burning, and to help with costs and such, I'm also doing little painted fingernail files that are beautiful in glass and have little scenes on them.
So speak about wood burning. Where did you learn, like what kind of skills involved to do that?
Oh my goodness. I was intrigued by it when I went to a fair when I was in high school or so, and I had never seen it before then, and I watched a person who was customizing them on the spot, and I watched them doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. It's just so permanent. Once you burn it onto the wood, you can't erase, you can't put white paint over it and start over. And it just intrigued me at that skill level that you need to have for that. And so since then I was constantly trying to match up to that and work up to that, and I finally got my first wood burning tool like 2 months after I saw that happening, and since then it has just been a growing and learning curve. I think for Christmas one year I made everyone all my best friends little name plaques that had their name and like fancy imagery about what they were all about. So I started in high school but have worked my way up, and absolutely my favorite medium to work with.
So how old you were when you were introduced to art and when you realized, oh, this is my passion, I want to be an artist?
Yeah, I think I was introduced to art when I was about 5 years old, or probably even younger, when someone put a crayon in my hand and I just started scribbling all over a page. My grandma, as I got a little older, taught me how I was supposed to use crayons. Didn't know there was a right or a wrong way, and since then I just started loving and learning more about how to use each medium, and I've not perfected any of them, but I know how to use the basics of most of them. And it wasn't until I think the end of high school, early undergrad and college that I decided that it's such a love of mine that there's no way I can just leave this behind if I did any other career, such as like a business career or a career that just wouldn't let me be creative in my art sense. So it wasn't until college that I realized I needed that in my life.
And when people see your art, wood burning, on your social media, or your family, or art fairs, that look very wonderful and pretty, like you were impressed, and you fall in love with type of art. But what does it take you to be an artist in the 21st century, because people see just your final product, but what's going on behind the scene, what is involved.
Right.
Could you please share with
Yeah,
us?
no, absolutely. I think a lot, at least I can only speak for myself and artists' struggles, but what I see a lot in the wood burning world is that there's machines that do it for you. And you could put the wood underneath a machine and a laser would cut the design into it. And it still makes a beautiful image, but it's the love and the talent is not there when it comes from someone's hand versus the machine, or the other way around. But yeah, I think it's difficult sometimes if you look on Etsy, where I sell my nail files and my wood burning, versus like different pages on Etsy where it shows personalized wood burnings that you can tell are done by a machine.
Can you tell the differences between personal and machine artwork? You can distinguish. Wow.
I can tell the difference just because you can tell, like, in the grain and the way things are marked out. They're like perfection versus you can see like the strokes and the changes in texture throughout the handmade one. And I think it can be very frustrating sometimes when you see the sales that the machine ones are making versus the handmade ones. And I know that can be very frustrating for artists these days, because technology can just do so much that people oftentimes feel that artists don't need to be in the picture.
How, that's my question, next question, how long it's to take you from, just take this piece of wood to finish your artwork, and what does it involve?
I think there's two different ways that, for me, that it takes longer or shorter. If someone has a very specific photo that they want, like a picture of their dog or something like that on the piece of wood, then it doesn't take as long, because I can trace it onto there, and then I have a reference photo as that I can tell where the shading is and how to perfectly make it look like their dog. Whereas if it's something that I'm creating just out of creativity out of my head, it can take upwards of a week or two just to nail down that final product or that final design, because like I said, once you put it on wood, it is permanent and you can't change it again. But the custom little ones that I can often make take maybe like 2 days or so. But yeah,
that's hard.
it's very hard, but I love it so much too. So
where do you take your inspiration for your art?
I would say most of my inspiration would come from, as cheesy as it may sound, nature, because awesome. It's on wood, and I want to commemorate the natural world that came from. So I often take inspiration from different types of trees, adding nature into aspects. I had a piece that says, let's be adventurers, and it's got these exploration like trinkets on it, like a compass and a map and stuff like that. And I think that's probably my favorite piece that I've made so far. But yeah, I would say nature, as cheesy as it is.
And what would you like to tell to the world, to the people about, through your art, what kind of message or what kind of feelings you try, to bring out through your art?
I think the messages or whatnot that I would like to convey through my art would really just be like warmth and happiness. When I make my wood burnings, I really just have the intention of showing something that they love, or making a piece that when they look at, they're like, oh, that's my home, or oh, that feels just nice for me to understand. I don't really know if I've got like a big out there message, but I'm comfortable with that. I'm proud of being able to say that the pieces that I make people feel loved and comforted and enjoy where they're at. So
that's great. Welcome back to Artist Voices. For those of you who just tuned in, We are here at Public Media Network with local artist Micheal Wilson to talk about what it takes to be an artist in the 21st century. And thank you again, Micheal, for joining us. I cannot wait to learn what does it take to be an artist in the 21st century. And my next question is going to be, what is the best advice you have ever received from another artist?
I think the best advice I had ever received from another artist was truly just don't be afraid to mess up. Because there's so many times do people get like the blank wood in front of them or a blank canvas or a blank sheet, and they just stare at it and they're thinking, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to mess it up, and then I have to throw it away, and then and I have to just keep doing it over and over and over again. But it's those mess ups in life where you learn, okay, how I drew that this time isn't going to work. It doesn't look right. I can either keep sketching on this one and keep trying and trying, or I can go to the next one and I can move on from that failure and continue to build from that. And I think that was probably the best advice I had ever gotten, because there are so many pieces of wood in my house that is just covered in testing on how moving the wood burner this way would make the leaves look that way, or would it be better to move it this way? And just so many failures that I've learned from. But I would say that's it.
I like it because people usually think, especially if you take this perfect piece of wood, you think, I need to be perfect. Everything, like you said, the machine is doing it's perfect. So that's, but the truth is that we are not perfect. No. And we just express ourselves through the art. And that's most important, to bring this message to others.
Yeah.
Through your expression, I like it. I like it so much.
Don't be afraid to mess up.
Don't be afraid to mess up. Yeah, that's great advice. I like it. And what is the biggest challenges artists are facing today?
Well, I think the biggest challenges, both in, like I said, the consumerism of with all the robots and all the technology that we have, making art off of prints or making things that look like they're painted, that artists aren't able to get their word in or get their pieces out into the world because it's just cheaper to have it printed or something like that. I think besides that would really just be finding the time, because in this world we have to have, like you said, so many different jobs that we've got to have just to be able to allow us to do this art. And I think it's hard to work in between actually being able to make a living off of doing what we love versus working for a job that we know is going to pay our bills. Yeah, I think that would be the most challenging. It's trying to find that balance of, okay, do I take this weekend off to focus on my art, or do I go and make money that I know I'm going to get? I think that's the challenge.
That's the big challenge. I agree. I agree. Thank you for sharing. And what are you trying to achieve through your art?
I think in the end goal would be to be a full-time artist and be able to just share my art. And I am hopefully this summer starting to do like summer shows, like craft fairs and stuff like that, and be able to have a booth and set up those every weekend or so. And I think that's so enjoyable to go out and meet new people and other artists and just share in that sense of creativity. And yeah, I would say that the end goal would be to be able to live off of what I love to do and share, like I was talking about, is like the warmth and love that comes into every piece, and show people that artists and art made by each other can be so meaningful and for a purpose. It's meant to connect us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like it. Yeah, and where our audience can find information about you, about your art?
Right
Could
now,
you please tell
yeah.
the website or where to look you up?
Okay, so there's two right now. I've got a Facebook page that I'm on. That's the Burning Workshop Facebook page. You can also look it up if you look me up with Micheal Wilson.
Micheal Wilson.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also my Etsy shop that has got both my wood burning and the fingernail files that I make. And those.
Is it under your name, right? Micheal Wilson. The same thing?
You can look up my name there as well. Otherwise, it's etsy.com/shop/customized chaos shop. And that's my shop's name, is Customized Chaos, because everything, I can make a lot of things, and I just want to share with people that you can customize it and make art your own. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. Customized Chaos Shop.
Okay, and you said wood burning,
Burning
Facebook page.
Burning Workshop at Facebook. Yep.
Okay.
So hopefully going to combine them eventually, but that's where we're at now.
It's great. So thank you so much for being with us tonight, for sharing with us, your talent, your work, and I truly wish you from all heart so that your wishes come true.
Thank you.
To become a full-time artist, so you would share your positive message, of nature or your thoughts with other people to make this world better.
Thank you.
I truly wish you that. This concludes this episode of Artist Voices, where we believe it's essential for artist voices to be heard. And we are thank Micheal Wilson for joining us tonight here at Public Media Network. Thank you so much for watching us, and see you next time.